What's up, guys? So when you go to an immigration interview, whether it be for a green card or naturalization or some other benefit, can your lawyer answer questions on your behalf, or do you have to answer the questions? It's a good question, and it's one that I see from time to time, and I'm going to answer that in this video. So first of all, I think that this is a type of situation where what we see on TV regarding lawyers in court kind of influences our thinking about the situation. In movies and television, when we see court proceedings, we usually see the client seated at a table saying nothing, or maybe just whispering to the lawyer, and only the lawyer speaking to the adjudicator, the judge, whoever it may be. That, unfortunately, is not the case when somebody goes to a USCIS interview, okay? Now, when you go to a USCIS interview, you are entitled to have a lawyer, and I do recommend that you have a lawyer there to basically watch your back, make sure that everything is on the up and up. However, individual applicants have got to answer questions themselves, okay? It's not the case that the adjudicator poses a question to the lawyer and the client and that the lawyer can answer on behalf of the client. They cannot. But the lawyer can do a couple things to make sure that the interview stays on track and that the applicant is not actually making a mistake by answering questions incorrectly, at least not answering questions incorrectly in a way that basically it goes that way without being corrected, okay? So a couple things that a lawyer can do, okay? First of all, a lawyer in an immigration interview with USCIS can ask their own questions, okay? So basically, if an applicant gives an answer that's incorrect, or maybe it's not necessarily incorrect, but it basically makes a fact or something that happened kind of be looked upon in a bad light, okay? The lawyer can actually follow up with questions to draw out the information from the applicant that benefits the applicant in the eyes of USCIS, in the eyes of the adjudicator. So that's a really, really powerful function, okay? And if you have the lawyer sitting there next to you or on the telephone nowadays because of the pandemic, the lawyer can do that and basically kind of bring you back in case an applicant has basically made a mistake in how they answered a question. Now, secondly, it's not necessarily in the rules, but from experience as an immigration attorney being in all of the USCIS interviews that I've been in, I found that if a lawyer is there and kind of presents themselves as trying to be more there in the helpful capacity, that sometimes when an applicant answers a question incorrectly, especially if it's what we call a non-material issue, meaning one that's not super important to the application, the lawyer sometimes can chime in and basically say, oh, excuse me one second, are you sure that that's the answer to that question? And sometimes the applicant will say, oh my God, you're absolutely right, I forgot about that, or I made a mistake. This happens quite frequently actually, because a lot of applicants are very nervous going into USCIS interviews. Even applicants that have nothing to necessarily worry about, haven't done anything wrong. It's just a nerve-wracking experience for a lot of people to be in that interview. So a lawyer sitting there and reminding you, sometimes that helps and that works, and the adjudicator will actually allow it to happen sometimes. Okay, it's kind of a case-by-case scenario, especially if it doesn't feel like the lawyer is trying to be disruptive, but rather that they're just trying to basically help the applicant to answer the questions correctly. Okay, so that's a really important point as well, and that's another aspect in which having a lawyer at an interview can help. Okay, that's it. I wanted to basically answer that question in this video. If you have any general questions, throw them in the comment section. If you've ever been in a USCIS interview and you have an experience that you want to mention, throw it in the comment section. I'd love to hear from you. If you have any specific questions, or if you want to speak to me about representing you for your case, click on the link below, book a consultation. I'd be happy to hear from you. So that's it for today's tip. Have a great day.